So what's the big deal about business?
Really?
Like everybody right now is trying to own their own business.
I know, dude. I mean, think about it. The greatest success stories in the history of the planet, not just the United States, history of the planet, are business owners. I mean, look at the Fortune 100, 500, 1,000. They're all people that had an idea, had a special talent, had a patent, had something, and they started a business.
Okay, so if that's true, why doesn't everybody start a business?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, why don't they? Well, I'll tell you why. It's complicated. I mean, business is easy, but it's not simple. I mean, think about all the moving parts. I mean, you might have a great idea. You might have a patent. You might go, oh my gosh, I got this brainstorm idea, but what about the business plan? Who's going to write it? What about the licenses that I need? What about the insurance I need? I got to find myself an accountant. What if I need an attorney? All these moving pieces. Oh, and then there's the little thing about funding. What are we going to do about finding a little do-re-mi to move us forward? So, Danny, yes, people have great ideas. They move forward. But what we do at LenCred is we help facilitate all those little tiny things. You might be the greatest hairstylist on the planet. Well, no, you wouldn't be. But I mean, for example, can I use that as an example? Okay, so you might be the greatest hairstylist in the world, and you're working for somebody else, and you just have this dream. You know you can break out, and you can do it yourself, and you're going to take all these clients with. You got that, right? I mean, think about it. You got that. That's easy. But now all of a sudden you go, well, how am I going to find a place? I don't know a real estate agent. Do I need to file an LLC? Oh, crap, I better see an attorney. And what licenses? Do I need a business license? Do I need a use permit? What do I need for that? You know what? That comes with the territory. And then what about the funding? I got to get chairs. I got to get wash bowls. I don't know what else I need, scissors. I mean, well, you wouldn't, but
I would.
I mean, what about that stuff? How is that going to happen? So we have a little saying at LenCred. You do what you do best, i.e. the hairstylist. We do the rest. So you do what you do best. We do the rest. We want to be your partner forever.
That sounds wonderful because, if I'm running a business, it wouldn't be a hairdressing business, but I honestly, I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know what to do. And I want to focus on the business.
Right.
So
Right.
Tell me a little bit, how did you come up with this idea?
Oh, great. I mean, that's great. Necessity. Yeah. I mean, for 14 years, LenCred has been in the business of helping people find that, startup, they're getting them kind of started, getting that do-re-mi, that grease, and not the kind that goes in your wheels. And then all of a sudden, as they worked with their clients, they figured out that, the person might be a great mechanic, might be a great hairstylist, might be, a doctor that wants to branch out and have his own practice, his or her own practice. They might be a real estate agent that wants to go out and buy and invest in property. So we were assisting with all the necessary parts on that side, the grease, the do-re-mi, all that kind of stuff, right? And then we started figuring out they need help in all these other areas. So that's what we did. It was born in necessity. People need this stuff. They need this stuff. And if they're focusing on what they do well, learning all those other things sometimes stops them. And it's fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I go and research all the stuff about licenses. Oh my gosh, my head starts spinning around. My eyes roll back in my head. I go, oh my crap, I can't do that. It stops them. We saw that more often than not. So we just said, hey, listen, let's put together a solution. This is like nothing else. It's not available. We've looked. We've encouraged competition. It's not available. If you want it, you come to LenCred. So then we said, okay, let's figure out how to do this, and let's do it better than anybody else.
Okay, wait a minute. So you just said you do it better than everybody
right.
else. That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
So how do you do it better best?
That's a really good question. You're making me think a little bit. So there was a couple of phases. At first it was recognizing need. Simple, right? People are crying out, I need help. How do I get the right licenses? How do I find build my team, my accountant, my real estate agent, my attorney? How do I go and get involved in networking organizations? How do I build my lead generation? How do I go online and become part of, the online network and get famous out there? And how do I, become the person that I need to be so people come to me? All that stuff. So we go, okay, that's cool. We can help you with all of those. And then we discovered that if we applied technology, we said, hey, yeah, we can help one at a time and doing the thing, but if we teach the machine to do it, and then all of a sudden the machine learns how to do it better, AI, right? So if we can build some kind of proprietary technology that's going to do it better than anybody, do it better than I could do personally, or you could do personally, would we have a better machine? And that's what we did, Danny. 2 years ago, We built our own proprietary technology. We said, how do we build this into something better than what we can do? How do we take all the knowledge out there in the universe, Google, and bring it into one place? And how do we take that information and make it so we can help our clients effectively, cost efficiently, right?
Yeah.
We want to be able to do as cheap as possible so they can save their money, make their money. And how do we do it the fastest way possible? It was technology.
That's awesome. So it sounds like, as long as the person has the drive to put their foot through the door and
Right.
Get themselves to the water, so to speak, that they're able to come and get help. Is there anybody in particular that you look for as a perfect candidate or perfect client for LenCred?
Yeah, it's everybody and anybody that wants to start a business. Either they've started a business and they kind of got stuck. They're like, wait a minute, I need a little help in the capital side. Or wait a minute, not quite sure how to make a plan. I know what I want to do, but how do we get there? What are the steps? I'm not quite sure what I need. Do I need to insure this thing? I mean, is something happens? All those questions start coming up, right? So we look for people that want to focus on what they do. Again, back to the you do what you do best, we'll do the rest thing. That's pretty much every business in the world.
So you mentioned something about a process.
Process.
What's the process that you have to go through?
Okay, so like anything, there's systems, there's rules to the game, and you have to go through those rules. I mean, you wouldn't go to your 16-year-old son or daughter and go, here you go, sweetheart, here's the keys to the car, have a nice day, right? Unless you're half crazy, right? So they have to go through a process. They have to go and they have to learn, they get their driver's permit, they got to go to school, they get through simulators, they take the test, all that stuff. So our process is pretty simple. Number one, Danny, what do you need? We're going to interview you. What do you need? Everybody's different. So we realize that process is pretty important. So we put together very strategic questions about you, your business, how much capital you need, what your future is, what do you project, all that stuff, process step number one.
Mm-hmm.
And we throw that over to the machine and we say, okay, this is Danny's stuff. This is all the stuff he's got, his personal credit, how much money he needs, blah, 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 blah. We say, give us back a complete custom strategic plan. So that's the beauty. Our technology then takes those, must-have pieces of information, that data points, if you will, and then turns it into a custom strategic plan. And then what you get is you get a full plan, strategies, chronologically organized so that we can execute those strategies in the proper order so that you get to your goals. Now, the best part about that, I call it high tech and high touch, right? Because the high tech part, the machine can do all that, can give me the strategies, but I want a human being to talk to. I want somebody to talk to me about all this.
So a couple minutes ago, you were talking about technology and
Right.
how, that's giving you the foot forward. And
Yeah.
a minute ago, you just mentioned human beings. So how does that work?
Okay, so, like I said, high tech, high touch. It's HT squared because it's awesome if you can get a consultant and somebody, to kind of sit down with you and walk you through it. I'm that kind of person. I'm sure you are too. I want to talk to a human being. I like all the machine stuff. I like going online, doing my research, but when the rubber hits the road, man, give me a guy, gal that can sit down with me and walk me through it, that knows what they're talking about, right? Then we assign you with experts in three categories. Number one, business credit. You gotta learn how to build your business credit. I know you start with your personal credit, but you want to get it off your personal credit as fast as possible. And there is a method to building business credit, and there is a science to building business credit. So we're going to give you the high touch, the person that you're going to meet with on a regular basis that's going to help you do that. Number two, financial literacy. Financial literacy consultants are, in my humble opinion, one of our most valuable people. Why? They're going to walk through the 7 steps. We call them the 7 fundamentals. The things that you might not know about right now, like your business plan, like your insurance, like your license, like building your team, like networking. How do we get more leads? How do we get them online, offline? Financial literacy consultant is going to meet with you and make sure that you've checked all those boxes, right? Second person. Third of the high touch is a business financial strategist. Now, this is a real smart cat that understands everything. Think of him like the quarterback of the football team, right? He's got the playbook. He knows all the positions of the different players. He sees the goalpost down there, and he's going to help you score. So he or she is going to get with you several times, sometimes several times a month, and walk through everything because plans change. We can put all those strategies on the front end, but he or she may have to call an audible. Something may have happened. You may have a catastrophic event in your life, right? Gosh forbid, we don't want that to happen, but it happens, right? Life gets in the way. Or your industry shifts, something changes, right? So now you got to go and you got to shift around some of those. That business financial strategist has years and years, in some cases, decades of experience walking people through those bumps and humps in the road to make sure that you get to the maximum lift and the maximum momentum in your business.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
So what we would like, your readers, and where's the camera? The camera's right here. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about starting a business, please do everything in your power to do so, because it is the most rewarding, best thing you can do for you and your family. It really is. Like I said earlier in this show, Danny, I mean, the most successful people in the whole world were entrepreneurs. They started something. Some of the coolest stuff we have, from the cars to the airplanes, the trains, everything, internet, Google, Facebook, all the stuff that we have now is because somebody, some human being, had a good idea. Thoughts are things. They turned a thought into a thing. But along the way, you don't know what you don't know. And you're going to need help. Why not go to one place that's doing it for 14 years, really good at it, that's going to help move you forward? And that's what we do at LenCred.
So, Jim, you've done a great job. Thank you so much for explaining to us what LenCred does from start to finish, all the details in between. I got ADD. I want to be able to go home and tell my wife, tell my friends all about this and tell them exactly what you do.
Now, what's this guy do?
Yeah. So what is it that you do in a condensed, real quick version?
Happy to. Okay, so LenCred has been in business for 14 years helping entrepreneurs. We do what we do best so you can do what you do best. What does that look like? We help you with your business credit so you can get off your personal credit and get into the banks and get some real low-cost money, at the best rate possible. Okay. Number two, we're going to help you with all things financial. We're going to make sure that you, number one, get what you need up front to get going, and then we're going to put you in a constant state of readiness. And the last thing, what I consider most important, is financial literacy. We're going to make sure that all the boxes are checked. So, a year down the road, somebody doesn't walk in your door and go, "Hey, where's your license?" And you go, "What license?" Your license, your business plan, your insurance, get you connected, show you how to get connected online with both, Facebook groups and groups of interest, and of course, local networking groups as well. We're going to make sure that you move fast forward in your business so you can succeed.